Hi, my name is Cristian Roberts. I'm from Prime. It's a private equity group in Latin America based in Costa Rica, Guatemala, and Colombia.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for taking a moment to speak to Breaking Travel News today. We're here at AHIC 2018 in Ras Al Khaimah, and you've just stepped off stage after a wonderful presentation. What's your key message to investors here in the Middle East?
Well, I think that the key message is that we really have a lot of similarities. I think our markets function very similarly. We have very strong families and very strong groups in the different countries directing economies. We have a lot of support from the governments, and we've had a great experience in Ras Al Khaimah. We've had with the hospitality community here, a great experience in Dubai, visiting the deserts. I mean, it's really, we felt how the government gets involved, creates these fantastic locations. I think it's the same structure over there. We are emerging markets at the end of the day, and so we function very similarly. We have the same types of challenges, and I think that there's a very good complement between the Latin American markets and especially Middle Eastern markets, in the sense that there's very strong cultures in both areas. There's also very strong and robust natural resources and scenarios that we can exploit together, and so I think it's very, very complementary in that sense. I think that creating a proper flow of capital markets and intellectual and exchange and experience exchange is something that could be very beneficial for all of us.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the destination there in Latin America? You're very much famous for your ecology as well, but there's a lot more on offer than that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when you look at the different blocks, you have the more established, longer-term destinations like Mexico, and you'll have some of the destinations in the Caribbean as well. But I think that today the up-and-coming markets are based a little bit south of Mexico, mainly when you look at Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia. That particular block has about 60 million inhabitants. It has a lot of the biodiversity in the world very concentrated there. But the really interesting thing is that it's very diverse. You'll take a country like Costa Rica and Colombia and Panama. They all have over 400 microclimates, so you can really experience in very different areas many different experiences. And then you have a very strong cultural aspect to it, where you have the more modern, business-oriented, innovative economies with very robust economies, by the way. The fastest growing in the region have been there, especially concentrated in Panama at this point. But, in addition to that, you'll have the local indigenous cultures, you'll have the more typical colonial cultures as well, and then obviously that modern culture that I'm mentioning that makes the experience quite exquisite.
And there's some strong infrastructure going in there as well. New convention centres just opened as well. There's strong airlines into Panama as well. It's growing as a business destination.
Correct. So, you have the airport in Panama, which has over 15 million passengers today. It's going to have over 20 by the end of the year. It's connected to, I believe, over 90 direct flights in 90 cities. So that's fantastic. It's really the hub of the Americas. You have Bogota, which is the busiest airport in South America. And yes, like you mentioned, Costa Rica, we're expanding our airport. Costa Rica, the National Convention Center just opened. So that's opening up a whole new market into our country. Same thing's happening in Panama. Same thing's happening in Colombia. So you'll see a lot of similitudes in the real estate and the tourism infrastructure that have been developed. And again, pushed by the government, also backed by the private sector. So there's a lot of positive convergence in the way moving forward for this industry in our market.
How would you say your message was received by investors here in the Middle East today? Is it going to be a positive time moving forward?
Well, I really believe so. I mean, I think that, like I mentioned earlier, we've had a great time here. We felt very well received. I think that, again, our cultural similarities really make that happen quite easily. And we face the same challenges, and so I think that there's a lot of shared opportunities. And no, I think the message was well received, and we also have received very good messages from them as well to take back home. And I hope that continues in a more permanent manner.
I hope you enjoy your time here in Ras Al Khaimah. I appreciate taking time to speak to us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Christopher.